Subic is known for many things, one of which is being a former US Navy base. But nowadays, it's a hit among tourists because of beaches, adventure parks, restaurants, shopping facilities, among other amusements. In this video, we'll be sharing a list of things you can do within the Subic Bay Freeport Zone. What's up, Beach Listers? This is Hannah from Philippine Beach List. For more than a decade, our team, together with our partners at The Poor Traveler, have been exploring the Philippines to list out the best that the country has to offer. Breathtaking sights, brag-worthy bites, and of course, beautiful beaches. When Mariah and I took a trip to Zambales, we thought heading back to Manila right after checking out of the resort was a bit of a waste. So we planned to spend the rest of the day at Subic, and we're happy to tell you all about the places we visited in this video. But before we begin, please subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon beside it, and select all so you won't miss any of our informative travel videos. If you're watching this on Facebook, support us by following this page and sharing this video. And if you want to score discounts on hotels, resorts, tours, and other activities on Klook, use our promo code PHBeachKlook to score up to 300 pesos off. You can find this code in the description of this video or pinned comment for easier reference in the future. Using these promo codes also helps us maintain this channel because we get credited for every booking at no additional cost to you. In fact, you even get great discounts. It's a win-win. Subic, also known as Subic Bay or Subic Bay Freeport Zone, is located in Central Luzon. It covers a part of Olongapo City, Municipality of Subic, and the towns of Hermosa and Morong in Bataan. Formerly a US military naval base, which was once the biggest in Asia, Subic is the first freeport of the Philippines. It is managed by the Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority, which you may see or hear a lot online. From Manila, it takes about a 3-hour drive to get there. If you're not driving, public transportation options are also available. Although not as straightforward as getting in your car and driving, it is doable, and I'll tell you a bit more about getting around Subic later. Here are some of the things we did during our last visit to Subic, which you can add to your own itinerary. We arrived in Subic at around 1 p.m, so our first stop was Magic Lagoon to get some late lunch. Magic Lagoon Restobar is one of the most popular dining places in Subic. It is known for the scenic view of the lagoon beside it, hence its name. Located across Subic Bay Yacht Club, the Restobar is open 24/7, serving classic Filipino dishes and delicacies. Some of the items on their menu are kare-kare, sinigang, which is available in different protein options like pork, beef, fish, and even shrimp, chicken tinola, bistec Tagalog, and pinapaitang kambing or goat. If you're just looking for a light meal, they also serve lomi, pansit, clubhouse sandwiches, and cheeseburgers. For drinks, they offer fruit juices, fruit shakes, and coffee. But since this is a resto bar, of course, there are alcoholic beverages too. Among the options on their drink menu is their beer below zero, which they call balot sa puti or wrapped in white, presumably because it's so cold that it's wrapped in frost. For our lunch, we ordered their grilled squid and grilled isaw because we were really craving for something charred. The night before this trip, we were at Crystal Beach Resort in Zambales, which we have a full video for it if you're interested. And we were just so jealous of the other tents with their ihaw-ihaw. Surprisingly, the grilled squid and grilled isaw weren't warm when it was served, which is odd for grilled dishes. As for the taste, it was decent and honestly nothing spectacular, just as what you'd expect grilled squid and isaw to taste like. Maybe their other dishes taste remarkable, but we'd have to try that another time to find out. We also had some fruit shakes, ripe mango for me, and green mango for Mariah. It was just what we needed to beat the scorching heat. Dishes here range from 99 pesos to 1,590 pesos. If you're a group, they also have binulkan, which are bundle deals good for 5 to 7 people. Disclaimer, we didn't do this on our most recent trip, but we have experienced this sunset sailing in Subic a few years ago. If you're celebrating a special occasion or simply planning a date with a loved one, this might be something to consider. You don't have to rent a whole yacht to experience a sunset cruise in Subic Bay. There are joiner sunset cruises you can avail, meaning you'll share the yacht with other guests. Prices range from 1,950 pesos to 2,499 pesos per head for a 2 to 3 hour sunset cruise with dinner on board. You can book a sunset cruise via Klook. We'll add the link in the description and pinned comment so you can easily find it. You can also use our promo code PHBeachClook for additional discounts. But if you're interested in renting a yacht for a yacht party, you can do this too. Some people do this for bachelorette parties, birthdays, and other occasions. But if you want to do this with a bunch of your friends for absolutely no reason at all except for partying on a yacht, no one would stop you. So you can book a yacht with La Banca Cruises. Here are their rates. When you rent a yacht, you can bring food and drinks on board since it doesn't include meals. For bookings and inquiries, you may contact La Banca Cruises at the number on your screen. If you need a pick-me-up, there are many local coffee shops around Subic. We decided to drop by 727 Coffee located in Building 727 on the corner of Manila Avenue and Dewey Avenue. Not gonna lie, we mainly chose this coffee shop because their place looked so chic in photos we saw online. Upon entering their store, we were welcomed by the aroma of their coffee and we had a feeling they served a good cup of joe. The packed coffee shop was also a good sign. Luckily, they also have an outdoor area where more seats are available and we found a table. I ordered their horchata while Mariah got the 77 signature. Their menu includes a variety of coffee choices and it was honestly hard to choose. They have classics like latte, cappuccino, and flat white, and some more adventurous signature drinks like honey oat lavender latte, zebra mocha, and the 77 signature. They also serve non-coffee drinks and tea if you're traveling with non-coffee drinkers. And if you're hungry, they have meals, waffles, and cookies on the menu as well. Their drinks range from 100 pesos to 350 pesos, while their food items are priced between 100 pesos to 700 pesos. We weren't able to try any of their food items, but we'll definitely go back just for their drinks alone. As suckers for sunsets, we wanted to catch the sunset here in Subic Bay too, so we headed to the boardwalk. This was only about a 5-minute walk from 727 Coffee. We arrived at the boardwalk at the perfect time because just a few minutes after finding a spot on the beach, the sun started to set. More people arrived at the beach too to watch the sunset, but there was enough room for everyone to enjoy the view due to the long stretch of beach. Before heading back to Manila, we went to Maple 28 to have dinner. This was also just a few minutes away from the boardwalk, so we decided to walk there. You won't miss this because the restaurant has a huge sign right outside on the corner of Labitan Street and Dewey Avenue. We immediately liked the ambience of the restaurant, including the live acoustic music serenading the guests. Maple 28 has an extensive menu starting from breakfast meals with Filipino and American options, which they serve until 4 p.m. They have a variety of starters, soups, and salads, and for mains, their best sellers include dishes from different cuisines. Among their best-selling mains are baby back ribs, beef burger, fish and chips, and nasi goreng with chicken satay. For their local dishes, their best sellers are pork liempo, laing, sizzling sisig, and pork binagoongan. They also serve pastas and sandwiches. That is quite the menu. Mariah and I opted for their rice bowls because they look like a type of comfort food you'd want after a long day, and we were right. We tried their kimchi and beef fried rice and the seaweed garlic butter beef don. Both of them were really tasty and filling because these bowls were packed. When we went there, they also served free lechon to diners for some reason, and we also got a free crepe as part of their promo. So just imagine how full we were after dining here. There are a lot of restaurants around Subic in case you're looking for other flavors. Among the most recommended online are Coco Lime, Rally's Restaurant, Texas Joe's House of Ribs, and Meat Plus Cafe. If you've been to any of these restaurants or have other restaurant recommendations around Subic, let us know in the comment section. We weren't able to go on a shopping spree during this trip, but if you love shopping, this should be on your itinerary. There are multiple duty-free shops and outlet stores around Subic where you can buy imported goods and discounted items. If you're an impulsive shopper, we must warn you to prepare your wallets because you might not be able to resist all of the deals. An important note in the duty-free shops, items are priced in dollars, but don't worry because the cashiers definitely accept peso for payment. Now that you've got your roster of things to do in the Subic Bay Freeport Zone, it's time to figure out how you're actually going to get there if you're coming from Metro Manila. If you're driving by car, you can easily navigate using navigation apps like Waze and Google Maps. Simply type in your specific destination in Subic and follow the map. For example, if you plan on booking a sunset cruise at Subic Bay, you'd have to be in Subic Fishing and Yacht Charter. Meanwhile, here's a step-by-step guide on how you can commute from Manila to Subic. Board a bus bound for Olongapo. Victory Liner has regular trips to Olongapo from several of their terminals around Metro Manila, including Cubao, Sampaloc, Caloocan, and Pasay. You can just pick which terminal is most accessible to you and has a trip schedule that works for you. Although we don't think this will be much of a challenge because they have multiple trip schedules throughout the day, from early morning to late night. Next, get off at Olongapo Terminal. The bus will terminate at Victory Liner's bus terminal in Olongapo. Get off here. And then walk to the jeepney terminal. From the bus terminal, the jeepney stop is only less than a 5-minute away. You can ask the bus conductor or staff at the bus terminal for directions. Just tell them you're looking for the jeepneys going to SM Olongapo. It's hard not to spot these jeepneys because the whole thing is painted yellow like the one you see on your screen. Afterwards, ride a jeepney to SM Olongapo, which costs around 13 pesos. There are no jeepneys within Subic Bay. The jeepney will drop you off at SM Olongapo where you can start walking to get to the Freeport Zone. Next, walk to the taxi bay. From SM Olongapo, there's a walkway that would lead you to the Subic Bay Freeport Zone. From there, make your way to Ayala Mall's Harbor Point to find a taxi bay. And then ride a taxi to your destination. It's important to know that taxis here in Subic Bay do not look and function like usual taxis in Manila. Taxis in Subic Bay are SUVs with the SBFC taxi logo and body number on the sides instead of the usual taxi sign on top of the car. And these taxis do not have a meter. So once you get in the car, tell your driver your destination and agree on the fare. Taxi rates are between 100 pesos and 700 pesos depending on the distance and can accommodate up to 7 people. So hi guys, this is Hannah, and in this part of the video, I'll be sharing some thoughts about our experience at the Subic Bay Freeport Zone. So right off the bat, the Subic Bay Freeport Zone isn't really the most commuter-friendly of places. They don't have any jeepneys or tricycles roaming around the Freeport Zone anymore. They only have taxis. So the first time I went this year, Mariah and I commuted, and we really used the taxis during our trip. We ended up actually paying more for taxi fare than our bus trips for the whole trip. So it was quite expensive. It's quite expensive to quote-unquote commute around the Subic Bay Freeport Zone. Sometimes it's also, or rather it was a bit hard for us to flag taxis down. And one time we actually had to ask the guard for help to call a taxi because there weren't any around. And if there were any taxis, they were already filled with other passengers. The second time I visited this year, I went with a different group of friends and we had a private vehicle. So we brought our own car, which was a more convenient experience altogether. Maria and I and Asta, we also really love to encourage commuting when traveling. If you've watched any of our videos, you'll know that we actually commute to most of these places. And sometimes we do bring private cars as well. But for the Subic Bay Freeport Zone, I honestly wouldn't recommend commuting because it will get expensive. The taxi fares can get a bit expensive and walking around is also a bit hard in the heat. So there are sidewalks, but it can get a bit hot outside. So yeah, I mean, commuting has never really been the most convenient option to get around. We all know that. But when the place you're going to doesn't really have the infrastructure for cheaper public transportation, it makes it even harder to get around, especially if you're a budget traveler. So I guess keep that in mind when you're making a trip to the Subic Bay Freeport Zone anytime soon, because we really did enjoy. We had so much fun at the coffee shops and especially at Subic Bay, like at the shore, seeing the sunset. That's still one of the most beautiful sunsets I have ever seen. It's just we have to face the reality of like certain inconveniences when there aren't like infrastructures for public transportation. Yeah, so again, this part of the video is something new that we're doing. If you like it, let us know. If you don't like it, fine. No, I'm kidding. If you don't like it, let us know as well. We just want to hear from you guys and we want to know what you like about this channel and what we can do better. And yeah, that's it. And that's it for this video. If you have suggestions on things we should do in Subic, let us know in the comments and maybe we can make a part 2 of this video. Do you have any destinations in mind that you think we should visit next? So sound off in the comments for those. You can also reach us through our social media pages. Just look up Philippine Beach List on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. If you want to see more travel guides like this and everything you need to know about traveling around the country, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you get notified when we have new videos. You can also check out our blog, philippinebeaches.org. The Philippines has so many islands, it's going to take a lifetime to visit each one. So we better get counting. Again, this is Hannah. Join me next time as we check another destination off our Philippine beach list. Bye!